Hi, Steve and Mark. We're still in complete lockdown here in Victoria, BC, but that hasn't stopped the flowers outside my window from blooming. So I just thought I would show you what it looks like when I look out my window. And over here is a little bird bath and little flowers underneath there. And that's the gate to the property. And if we go all the way around this way, there's my living room window. I hope you guys are well and happy. Stay safe. Love ya. Bye.
Hello everyone, I'm Steve, Mark's around, and this is Smokey Steve and Mark. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Thursday. Everyone doing okay? Social distancing, washing your hands, be safe, be well, take care of each other. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. So, we're going to continue today with, I guess, this is life after caretaking, pretty much. Following up on the channel, this is very Smokey Steve and Mark, excuse me. It was a long morning. So we're going to follow up on the same channel that we've been following up on. The new name of the channel is Jersey Girl Journals, originally called Cynthia and Thomas Beaumont. Now, to catch anybody up, Cynthia had her husband pass away about, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago now, I guess? Tommy had passed away. And Cynthia is now finding herself a recent widow. Cynthia also has had a YouTube channel that was her, and then her and her husband, really, and then now it's just her again, going back. Cynthia's been on YouTube a long time, 6 years, 7 years. It's been a while. So her channel's continuing, and people had things to say about Cynthia, prior to her husband being ill. She started to get a lot of attention then because people had observations about how that whole situation was panning out. And now that she's on her own, there's been more than a few people who've suggested that she was maybe e-begging, not so grateful for some of the gifts she got, just pointing out personality things about her. So I've taken some more notes and wanted to elaborate on a couple more things since the last time we checked in. First, before we do any of that, I want to make it clear for me, and I would say this to other channels that review or react or otherwise gossip, which you could very easily call all this gossip. I don't believe myself to be the moral compass of YouTube. What I think is right or wrong or acceptable and unacceptable behavior is based on my life experiences, things I've been through, a smattering of Irish Catholic upbringing, probably a little bit of belief in, flaky stuff like karma, like things like that. It's probably a whole melange of things that I bring to watching a video and thinking what I think about it. All reviewers and reactors do that too, and frankly, anyone viewing does. So if I say that I think something is unacceptable or not okay, and you think it is, that doesn't mean I'm right, you're wrong, or I'm better than you, or you're better than me, or anything like that. It's just observations, okay? So I wanted to clear that out of the way. I don't want to. I can come off as indignant and superior. I do it well, but that's not my intention in discussing it. So let's talk about complaining for a little bit. Now, one of the hallmarks of this channel is that Cynthia complains. She's always kind of been a complainer. Some people, it's just their nature. There's just always not like a Debbie Downer, but someone that, sees the glass as half empty, like that, and I think that's kind of just how she is. Now, there's been a lot of changes in everybody's life, globally. So, some people are taking it in stride, others are not. She did have a big life change happen in the middle of all of this. So, there's some context for how she's behaving. And again, it's tough times for all of us. I'm not immune to having complained about this. I'm sure I've done it in a few videos. But she seems to, per capita, she's more than most of us, I think. The biggest complaint she's been having lately is that she has no insurance. Okay. And that she should get 2 free months of insurance. And she's blaming the governor, and she tagged the mayor, and nobody did anything about it. Also, she can't get her meds. She takes painkillers. at the moment because she doesn't have insurance and she couldn't get to the doctor, and it would be an Uber ride, and she would need a helicopter to get there. Like, there's all sorts of reasons that can't work either. Haven't been to the grocery store in 4 to 5 months. I can't go outside. I can't this. I can't that. So she doesn't. She's got a lot of problems, and she's not very. How can I put this? Solution oriented. Now that's not unique to her. There's a lot of people who, get stuck in a problem and have trouble finding their way out, even if people are offering suggestions or solutions of, hey, you're in a rough spot. Especially if someone has been a peer of theirs and said, hey, I was in a rough spot too, a very similar one. Here's what I did, and it helped. That to me is usually the best help. It's not like that from the top down, like, I'm a social worker and you can call da 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 da. More like, hey, I've been on welfare in New Jersey. Here's what you do when you're getting started. Some advice like that. I know that people have shared that information with her. And yet I'm watching a video where broke, no insurance, can't get pills, can't get this, can't get that, as though Medicaid doesn't exist. But that's neither here nor there. So, no, there's, of course, the begging is going on still in the middle in the form of insinuated hint dropping. So, Mark and I, a lot of people, she used to do grocery hauls. Now she reads off her grocery list. And then I think she waits a couple days to see if the people send them. Now, I'll talk a little bit later about, desperate times and, being a YouTuber versus just being somebody who doesn't. But I don't count things that you get from viewers or fans, if you're her. That doesn't count as part of your income, as far as I'm concerned. But I'll talk about that in a second. So also, in one of the later videos, she mentions Grubhub and Burger King. How long do you think it'll be before somebody tries to figure out, like any other feeder, you could get? She'll be having food at the door all the time. She's not going to wipe that off or refuse it. The nurse can't come in, but Burger King can. So, after all the complaining is followed up by helplessness. So there's a complaint that she makes, and then she's helpless to fix it. And solutions to that complaint or issue are refused. Everybody's got an answer for something. That's good. That's a good thing, because you've got a lot of friggin' problems. So a lot of solutions would be a really good thing. And this is for a type of person, because everyone knows a Cynthia. Everybody knows a Cynthia in real life. Maybe two. Or you work with folks who you try to provide support for someone in her situation or with her personality. When I was in the 12-step meetings, I used to go to AA and stuff like a while back. And I had a friend who had said, because you're supposed to welcome the newcomer and put principles before personalities. So your job is to be there for people. It's not necessarily to like them. And I had a friend who said, it's easy to love the lovable ones, which is true. Some people, to me, make you want to reach out and want to help them. And other people make it feel like, look, I'm sorry you're in a bad spot, but you're not doing much to help yourself either. So, I digress. The helplessness. I can't get insurance. There's no way for me to do it. The governor should handle it. The mayor should handle it. Go to www.state.nj.gov.us. state.nj.us/human services. Take a look around. There's programs for people who are dead-ass broke. And if you're not dead-ass broke and you're blowing smoke at everybody, there's the healthcare exchanges where you can go in and purchase insurance because you've had a life-altering event. Just putting that out there, too. And if you don't take that advice because you don't like me, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So, the doctor won't help you over the phone. Some of the laws and regulations have changed temporarily in some areas regarding getting medical services over the phone. I saw my psychiatrist on Zoom, and the prescriptions were sent electronically to my pharmacy, which Mark then drove up to. Let me not take credit for shit I didn't do. Mark went up to the pharmacy, sat in a parked car, gave them information. They went in and brought my prescriptions out. So, yes, we have a car. Just because you don't have a car doesn't mean you can't leave the house, period. And that you can't arrange anything, either. There's a lot of people who don't have vehicles or don't have access to it. and they're not held up in their house with no meds, no insurance, and no food. You know, this is not the zombie apocalypse. It's a scary, dangerous situation we're all in. But there's precautions in place. Grocery stores are open. Services are still going. Maybe they're delayed, but things are still going on. What was another one of these complaints? Again, with the helplessness, I can't get anything. I can't get out to the store. I can't order food to come in. There's no point in even calling the doctor's office because I don't have insurance and can't afford to get there. So, doctor's offices sometimes have novel solutions for their patients about how to pay for it, because doctors like to get paid too. So sometimes they're in the interest of getting their patients insured so that they'll get reimbursed. And Cynthia is a pretty sweet plum because she goes to the doctor like 20 times a month. So you want to keep billing her over and over and over again. But you know, she may have had a change in insurance. There's a lot of things going on, which she, I believe, had said she wants to keep off YouTube. And that's fine. If it's stuff like applying for disability, food stamps, anything like that, there's some stuff you just want to keep off, and it's probably better for her to do that. And then the last piece was gratitude. You know, gratitude for, and ingratitude, I guess, as a person and then as a YouTuber. So as a person, do we have things to be grateful for? And we'll jump from Cynthia to the rest of us, I guess, right now. Yeah, I think some of us do. Granted, things could be, you know, better for all of us, but they could be a hell of a lot worse. I mean, I'm looking around. I have a roof, you know, I have a pet. We have enough food for us and the pet. You know, Mark and I have been able to continue working, which is not true for, was it 20 million people in the United States? And trouble getting unemployment and small businesses who are suffering. I have friends who are in that boat. I've had friends who've had coronavirus and are still recovering. I know that I work with folks who are homeless and as you know, clients. And how do you shelter in place when you have nowhere to go? You stay in a crowded shelter with everyone has a compromised immune system because they live outside. So there's a lot of folks who are in worse situations than me. Yes, I will still drop a complaint once in a while because sometimes I lose myself in the moment and I get a little selfish. But, so that's me as a person. And I think there's some things Cynthia has to be grateful for that maybe she's not recognizing. And that even though she has no money, there is still, you know, she's got a roof. She has somewhere to stay. She's not going to be broke forever, you know. Things will turn around for her. And like it'll turn around for the rest of us. But trying to find something to be grateful for is often a good way to keep from complaining, I think. Remember what you have, don't dwell on what you don't, you know, kind of stuff like that. The other side of that, being grateful as a YouTuber. Now, she's a YouTuber, I'm a YouTuber. Granted, she's been doing it longer, and her channel is 4 times the size of ours. But people sending gifts, people sending food, people sending cash, people sending money over PayPal, things like that. Viewers send gifts. Her fans send gifts. They send fan mail, you know, letters, things like that. People do that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a way I think viewers like to show that they like your content, and or they have a product they think you might want to try or enjoy, or they know it's a birthday or anniversary and they want to give you a gift and celebrate it, and sometimes they want you to open it on camera because they want to see the reaction, like when you get a gift in person, and sometimes they don't. Those are gifts. You know, we had a lovely gift of a large box of fudge the other day. We aren't owed fudge. That's not part of how we're compensated for having a channel. You know, that's not like a hustle for us to do. Like, we get our ads. Hopefully, if you're watching this, watch the ads, please. You know, there's super chats where people may come in and pay for a super chat. We had a few of those actually when we did live on our anniversary. We don't do like channel memberships or Patreon or anything like that. There's been people who have donated directly to us, and we've used that money to roll back into the channel to try to get like better phone for Mark and things like that. So those are the ways that we draw, you know, stuff to the channel. But gifts, extensions of things like that, they're not owed to us. Like, that's, to me, that's not like one of the benefits that you get. And I feel like it's interesting to make a regular habit of, this is how I'm gonna fill my fridge. You know, this is how I'm gonna do that. I don't approve. I'll say that. To the extent that it's any of my business, it's not any of my business. But I don't think it reflects well on her. I know she's losing some subscribers for it. Why else would the subscriber count disappear? And again, we hear about it. This was a comment that was posted in our comments section. It wasn't in an email. This was a response on last week's video, a comment. So I just wanted to read this. I'm actually the one who sent the fruit. This is the person who sent the edible arrangement basket, I guess. It was my first and last time I will send her anything. She thanked me in general, but everyone else receives a shout out. With the fruit came a nice note with my name, but she lost it and then complained there wasn't chocolate with it. I did not want a shout out, but it would have been nice to be thanked by name like everyone else. She has options, and I do believe everyone grieves in their own way. I don't judge her for how she's behaving right now. God bless her, and I do hope she receives the help she's seeking. So that's a person who I believe is a Cynthia supporter who got disrespected, who is understanding she's going through a hard time. This person does not hate her. This person knows she's going through a hard time, but felt blown off and insulted, you know? And by sharing that, will probably be perceived as a hater, because anything unflattering to Cynthia, she yanks out of her comments section, so I don't think this would appear there. But it was just another, you know, people come to us with Cynthia problems. So I just felt inclined to comment. So, yeah, I don't count when people send us gifts as that's part of having a channel. That's a nice thing people do if you have viewers and you have a channel, if you provide an address for them to send you things. I understand that some of the things Cynthia got were as condolence cards, condolence gifts for when her husband passed away. People can do whatever they want with that. You know, that's an event all its own. People send incredible amounts of food to your house when you have a death in the family around here. There's so much food, you're throwing it out 3 days after the wake. So I know that goes on. And money to help pay for funeral expenses, though I haven't heard about an urn. I was surprised there wasn't a GoFundMe, or someone didn't suggest it. But at any rate, that's where some thoughts that I'm having about complaining. I just complained about complaining for a while. So it goes. And I don't know. I guess I'll just leave that there for now. I'm continuing to follow up with some of these. On a lighter note, Sweating to the Oldies seems to be taking off as a daily thing. And you know what? Good for her. I think she's doing it to get views, because she can appreciate that it looks a little silly. But that's 5 more minutes of exercise that she wasn't doing before. And if she wants to put herself out there doing it, fine. I'm all for it. If you're going to stand out, stand out. Go ahead. She wishes me dead. But I support her in this decision, so sorry you hate me, but I support you. So thank you all for watching and supporting us. Please do subscribe, hit the like button. You can follow Mark and I on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address and our contact info is all listed down below. Thank you for watching, and we will catch up with y'all tomorrow. Happy Thursday. Bye.